Why does one small apartment feel calm the moment the door opens, while another twice its size feels tense before a single bag gets set down? A studio with bare white walls and a single lamp that somehow feels like a held breath. A living room stacked with matching furniture from the same catalog that still feels like a waiting room. A shelf of framed photos, and one plant that makes an entire hallway feel like an exhale. It is tempting to blame square footage or assume a bigger place would finally solve it. But size was never really the reason, and neither was how much furniture filled the room. The real difference sits in a handful of decisions most people have never been taught to notice. The kind that shape how a room feels within the first 3 seconds of walking into it. These 5 decisions, the ones many Japanese homes build into the architecture and daily rhythm of a space, are exactly that. The first one starts before a single step is taken past the front door. 1. A Genkan-Style entry that resets you, keys dropped on the nearest flat surface, shoes kicked off wherever they land, mail set down in a pile that grows for a week, all within the first 10 seconds of walking in the door. In traditional Japanese homes, the Genkan marks a small but firm boundary between outside and inside, often just a shallow step down, where shoes come off and the outdoor day is physically left behind before the rest of the home even begins. It is not a mudroom added as an afterthought. It is treated as part of the architecture itself, a deliberate pause built into the floor plan. The same idea works at a much smaller scale without any construction at all. A slim bench or shoe cabinet by the door, one tray for keys, one hook for a bag, turns those first 10 seconds into a single motion instead of a scattered one. The calm of a home rarely starts in the living room. It starts the moment the body decides it has actually arrived. So far, one habit changes what happens the moment a body enters a home. The next one changes what the eyes find once they are inside. 2. MA, the value of empty space. A shelf filled edge to edge, every inch holding a frame, a candle, a small trinket, can look finished in a photo and still feel strangely tiring to stand in front of every single day. Japanese design has a specific word for what that shelf is missing: ma, the deliberate empty space between objects. In traditional aesthetics, ma is treated as being just as real and just as considered as the objects it surrounds. Not leftover space waiting to be filled, but space doing its own quiet work. A shelf holding 3 objects with visible air around each one reads as calmer and often more expensive than the same shelf holding 12. The same principle extends to walls that do not need art in every gap, and floors that stay clear enough for the eye and the body to actually move through them without obstruction. What a room leaves out often says more about how it feels than anything placed inside it. 3. Shakkei, borrowing the view outside. A small room can still feel boxed in even with decent square footage, especially when heavy curtains and a tall dresser sit directly in front of the one window that lets in a view. Japanese garden and architecture design has a name for treating what is outside a window as part of what is inside it: shakkei, borrowed scenery. A tree, a patch of sky, even a neighboring rooftop gets framed on purpose rather than blocked out. So the eye reads the space as continuing past the glass instead of stopping at it. Indoors, the same idea translates without a garden at all. Pulling furniture away from a window, hanging curtains wider than the frame so they never cover the glass, angling a mirror toward the window so it pulls that outside view deeper into the room. All borrow scenery the same way a garden does. A room does not have to end at its own walls to feel expansive. The first 3 habits shape what a room holds and how far it seems to stretch. The last 2 shape something quieter, what a room actually feels like once the sun goes down. 4. Layered shadow instead of one flat light. Flipping on a single bright overhead light at night can make an entire room go flat. Every corner lit the same uniform white. Nothing left for the eye to settle on. In 1933, the Japanese novelist Junichiro Tanizaki published an essay called In Praise of Shadows, arguing that shadow gives a space its warmth and depth, and that flooding a room with even brightness erases exactly what makes it feel alive. A pool of warm light from a table lamp, the soft edge where light fades into shadow along a wall. These are not gaps to be eliminated. They are what gives a room its shape after dark. The practical version of this is simple. Instead of one central fixture doing all the work, a floor lamp in one corner and a small table lamp near a chair let different parts of the room hold different amounts of light, with real shadow living in between them. A room lit evenly from every direction leaves nowhere for the eye or the mind to actually rest. 5. Wabi-Sabi, texture over polish. A room built entirely from the same glossy laminate surface, the same smooth plastic finish repeated on every shelf and tabletop, can look put together and still feel strangely cold to stand in. Wabi-Sabi, a Japanese aesthetic built around accepting imperfection and impermanence, finds real value in exactly the opposite of that uniform polish, the visible grain in a piece of wood, the slight unevenness of a hand-thrown ceramic cup, the way linen wrinkles and softens with use. These small irregularities give the eye something to actually notice, rather than sliding across one flat, repeated surface. This does not require replacing an entire room. Swapping one glossy tray for a wooden one plastic cup for an unglazed ceramic one synthetic cushion cover for a linen one, is often enough to break the sameness. A room made of nothing but smooth, matching surfaces has nothing left for the eye to settle on, and nothing left that feels like it has actually been lived in. None of these 5 habits require a renovation, a bigger apartment, or a single piece of new furniture bought this week. A Genkan-Style landing zone by the door. Deliberate empty space instead of a full shelf. Borrowing the view outside instead of blocking it. Layered shadow instead of one flat light. Texture over polish. None of this is really about interior design. It is about what a room quietly asks of the body the moment it walks in, whether it demands attention or simply lets a person arrive. A calm room was never the reward for owning more, or even for owning better. It was always the result of leaving enough of it alone. Which one of these 5 habits could show up in this apartment by tonight, without buying anything at all? For more Japanese-inspired home habits like these, subscribe to Tidy Japan.